We played for you that graduation video. That's a 10-week professional course of study for U.S. And international law enforcement managers nominated by their agency heads. And this National Academy program trains these in some of our tactics from the FBI. There's a graduation ceremony. We played the graduation ceremony for you. And in the graduation ceremony, the guy on the microphone who's introducing the graduates, when it gets to the individual from the West Bank, says that he is from Ramallah, the state of Palestine, which, of course, the United States does not recognize a state of Palestine, nor does the United Nations, though they are not actually a full member state of the UN. They have some representation there, but even the United Nations has not come to a full agreement on that. And so some countries recognize, some don't, but we certainly do not in the United States. And you have to wonder, why are we even training Palestinian terrorists while they are still trying to utilize U.S. funds to pay their pay-for-slay program, which we were supposed to stop with the Taylor Force Act, but yet the Biden administration got millions and millions, probably more than like billions of dollars over to the Palestinian Authority and their autocratic leader, Mahmoud Abbas. So we played you that. We filed a FOIA, and the video, nowhere to be found now.
Even back in the Obama administration, when sometimes these bureaucracies get caught on something, all of a sudden they try to make it go away. So we filed our FOIA request on Monday. I've got it right here, and we're trying to get answers about the decision-making process, why this man was noted of being from the state of Palestine at Quantico at an official FBI ceremony. And mysteriously, as we were doing more research, members of our team went to go look at that original graduation ceremony video, which was an unlisted video. It already wasn't something that they wanted super forward-facing. It was an unlisted video. So we had found it earlier through a link from a nonprofit that supports the National Academy and those that graduate. And when you went to that link, it says that the video was removed by the user. So the account for the National Academy had removed the graduation ceremony. It is nowhere to be found, which is prompting us to update our requests to the FBI. Why was it removed? What communications around that were it to be removed? Why at this time, when we're coming up on the transition of administrations and there will be a new FBI director, does it appear to any observer that they're trying to cover their tracks about this? We also found from other sleuths on the internet and things of that nature that this individual had a table set up at the reception that had a placard that said State of Palestine and a map that showed what he believes to be Palestine in the state of Palestine with a Palestinian flag over it covering the entire state of Israel.
And yet, will that come down? So he's pretty bold. FBI either didn't do their work and just had their guy on the microphone just say, well, we'll let him, he can be from whatever state he wants to be. And then we're going to let him do it at this food fair. We're cover up the state of Israel, which is exactly what Hamas and the Palestinian Authority and UNRWA, they do in their textbooks. This student who is very proud of his family's linkage to Yasser Arafat. I want to go to Jeff Balaban in Jerusalem because, Jeff, you look at that picture of Yasser Arafat. That's not old man Yasser Arafat. That is Yasser Arafat towards right in the middle of running a terrorist organization.
Yasser Arafat famously wrote what he called the phased plan for Israel's destruction in 1974. And the plan was to get a toehold, which was, i.e., obviously the Palestinian Authority, and thereby destroy the entire state of Israel using the Palestinian Authority, which is just the PLO, as a way to eradicate Israel. So he's always a terrorist, but he pretended to be a statesman and was awarded, as we know, a Nobel Prize. But this, as you point out, Jordan, predates that. This was when he was proud, openly terrorist days.
Someone shared a video on his Facebook page, and it's in Arabic, and he liked the video that someone posted, but we looked into that, and it's a eulogy in Arabic by an Iraqi poet to the, quote, martyr Saddam Hussein. So not only are we concerned about the FBI's judgment and who they take on as trainees in this National Academy program, but when you see the images that he was allowed to set up a table at a reception with a placard that said State of Palestine and an image that there's a Palestinian flag that covers the entire state of Israel. So he's not holding back about what his beliefs are, about who's who and what is what in the region. And yet our FBI is okay with just announcing that he's from the state of Palestine.
We've already seen evidence of people with very questionable ties at best, people who have actually been thrown out of the administration. Since this Biden administration came into power, people who have terribly powerful influence who seem to be associated with our enemies, not just the enemies of the state of Israel, but enemies of America. And somehow they've come in places of influence. And now we see this example. And so it's necessary to dig into this. Also, this is something which, again, isn't quite as high profile in Israel. I don't think Israel has yet seen this. This is really something that we in America need to really, well, I'm here in Israel, but ACLJ, that's one of the purposes of the ACLJ Jerusalem office, is to explain to Israelis what's happening there so they have a clear sense of the picture on the ground at what is supposed to be Israel's greatest ally, but unfortunately in this last administration has really turned out to be not much of an ally.
If you put up a map like that, which tries to show that Israel doesn't exist, you put the Palestinian flag right where Israel is, and you don't even try to make notations, that no one saw that, Jeff, no one thought that that was potentially inappropriate, where this guy, maybe we should have researched before bringing him over and seen how much praise he has for people like Saddam Hussein on his social media. He's got that he's shared. He's got this, of course, his father's connection to Yasser Arafat that he's very proud of and putting out. He's not trying to hide this anywhere. And then when he gets to America, I think he probably says, let's see how far I can go with this. I'll write down state of Palestine. Let's see if they'll say it. They did. And then when we had the food fair, I'll smile. But look at where the placement was of the state of Palestine. It's covering up basically all of Israel. He puts the flag right in the heart of probably Jerusalem. And I guess, we've got an issue. I thought FBI training, these would be pretty top level folks, Jeff, that would be able to see this and say, you know what, this violates our policies as the United States government.
This is the definition of genocide. It's the eradication of an entire nation. That's what this image represents. That's what the state of Palestine represents to them, and that's what they're producing here. And you're right, at the FBI itself, it's. I guess I'm laughing a little bit because it seems so absurd, but the truth is, it's incredibly dangerous. Yeah, and that it's saturated and penetrated so far. And we'll also point out that the result of the Biden administration being so pushy on the idea that it should be a state of Palestine, that the result of the horrors of October 7th. The horrors, the atrocities, is that these people should be rewarded with a state, and that they keep on pushing this idea has led the state of Israel, or the Knesset, the legislature, to pass twice separately, resolutions saying with overwhelming majorities, saying number one, there must not be a unilateral recognition of a state of Palestine. Directly after Joe Biden made a comment about the state of Palestine, saying, no, do not recognize it. And of course, this is what they seem to be trying to do. Facts on the ground. And number two, passed another one to make it clear, if the first wasn't clear, it's not just unilateral recognition, that Israel says, no, you cannot reward the horrors, the terror, the murders, the war with a state, because it's also an existential threat to the state of Israel. And you see this image shows you the existential threat.